Nichole and Job from the Malakaila Foundation. Our podcast is weekly with guests and topics, and you can find us anywhere you've got internet, guys. The vibe every time. I'm never going to not dance for this whole season.
All
hello,
right,
hello.
Hi.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, welcome Nichole and welcome Job. We're really excited to have you on as our first guests in season 2 of BlackLantic. And we're going to be talking about your foundation and your upcoming gala in a little bit. But first, how about a little bit of background? Nichole, how about you? Can you tell us where you're from, how you grew up? Disclaimer, I guess I know you're not from New Brunswick, so how you grew up and how you ended up coming to the province of New Brunswick here in Canada.
I was born in Jamaica, came to Canada when I was a preteen, and lived in Ontario until about a year and a half ago when I moved to New Brunswick.
Wow. So, why the move to New Brunswick, and what has it been like?
Well, the changes that are happening in Ontario, not everything is working for what we were looking for as a family. Okay. And additionally, it's getting too busy in Ontario, too busy.
That makes sense.
I like the country life. I look for a place based on education, based on job, and based on weather. And New Brunswick fit it.
Yeah, I mean, compared to Ontario, the weather is not that much different, but
I feel like you named all the reasons why I left, but so many people, I feel like that's why we just swap and we keep the energy balanced in each place. But I don't want the snowstorms. I don't want the country. I'll choose here. But I also picked Toronto, and you didn't disclose exactly where, but I'm okay with this busyness compared to the busyness of Mountain Road. Right. But I respect your choice.
Okay. Job, same questions for you. Where did you come up? What was it like? And how did you end up here in Moncton, New Brunswick?
Oh, well, I was born in Nigeria.
Okay.
Grew up in Nigeria in the busy city of Lagos.
Lagos, yeah.
I would say Africa's most busiest city.
Most joyful city?
Lagos.
One of the most joyful cities too?
Yeah, one of the most joyful cities, the city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
Initially, I watched a film that they said New York never sleeps, but when I visited New York and compared to Lagos, I know New York goes to sleep. Lagos never sleeps.
Yeah. These Western cities can't compare to other places in the world.
Lagos never goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So having worked at the international airports and worked with so many international airlines and had the opportunity to have traveled so many places in the world, including the US, UK, and others. When me and my wife started having children, and we're considering, okay, where do we want these children to grow up? Having other experiences that we might not, and opportunities that we might not have. We looked at so many options, but Canada stood out. Not just Canada, New Brunswick stood out. Like Nichole said, quiet life, low rate of crime, easy communal living, friendly set of people, very welcoming, homely, nice. And when the opportunity came for us to relocate, we jumped on board. And here we are, myself, my wife, and my entire family.
Amazing. So you've lived... Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's how we came. And since we came, I'll tell you, it has been fun all the way, no regrets. because I see we made the right choice, the location and the education, the children, integrating and making new friends, and, not being scared of, some other voices you hear when children go to school in some other part of the world. I don't want to mention names.
That's right.
We're so happy to hear that. We're so happy to hear about the amazing integration, and that's a nod to New Brunswick, I guess, after living in the States and Nigeria and even the UK, that you chose and picked New Brunswick and you've settled here, and it sounds like it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing.
Yes.
So I'll start my line of questioning by asking, because we're going to end up getting into the Malakaila Foundation. But before we get into how you two started working together and what this foundation is, I'm curious what you both do as work in New Brunswick, since you're having such positive experiences, and I am so glad about that. I'm curious what do the two of you do, and then maybe a bit of how you came to find each other and meet, and sort of the inception of this foundation. Job, if you'd like to start.
Okay. Well, my wife got a job with the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, and that was how we moved here. And we got here. She was working with RBC, and I initially was working with Purulator, but later I moved to ARA, that's Alternative Resident Alternative, as a counselor for those who we call are in the transition period of their life. They've gone through some phases, maybe due to abuse from the parents, or some phases in their life, and of which they are running the program of and getting ready to integrate back into the society, where my major responsibility is like counsel them, advise them. We help prepare their financial budgets, monthly allocation, how to spend, how to save, how to ensure that the GST the government gives them is not blown up all at once. And also having my background as a quality control manager and a security manager from where I'm coming from, I happen to also double as the health and safety supervisor for the house. So, and it's been fun all the while. It's been fun. And how did we meet? Surprisingly, it will interest you to know that my wife and Nichole were the ones that met. They met in a mall. And
In
she
the
was
mall?
like, yeah.
Like Champagne Place?
Yeah.
It was in the supermarket.
It was when my wife came back. Do you know, I met a Jamaican lady, so fantastic, nice, lovely, blah, blah, blah. I said, seriously, what's her name? Nichole. Oh, great. And the next thing, she came to visit, and we went to visit, and they came to visit, and the whole family is one. So we got integrated that way. And we've been inviting each other for one event, birthdays, and the other. And last summer, we went swimming together as a family, both families anyway. We went to the swimming, to the riverside and catch a lot of fun. And it was fun. It was fun-filled. So that's how we met. And I'll say that is also the genesis or the beginning of Malakaila Foundation, because we got talking. And we found out that somehow both of us had passion that tilted towards the same goal. So we kept brainstorming, and here we are.
Amazing. I want to hear what that common goal is, but Nichole, I'll give you an opportunity to tell us what you were working on and what was going on with you before you met Job's wife at the mall.
So, coming to New Brunswick, I was planning on being, not that it's gone, not that the plan's gone, but I was planning on doing the examination for car insurance, general insurance. So I got a job in that field. The environment, the work environment was not the greatest. I think that was based on the people that I was working with. Not I think, I know it was. So it was based on the people that I was working with. Um, certain certain expectations in the work environment for me coming from Ontario um, is not negotiable. So I don't expect because I value my time and my children more than I value anything else. So I put that over and above anything that I do. But there's a lot of socialization in NB. So everybody likes to socialize and even work. That seems to be a main thing, socialization. And I am a person who work and go home. So and I leave the work at work. So that wasn't working out. So I decided to expand because I had a business in Ontario. So I just reopened it back up with the federal government, and I'm now working from home in my own business. Um, let's see how we met. Okay, so uh,
Is there a different story?
it's the same story. It's just
What's
a
your
different
version of
place.
events?
It's a
Okay.
different place. It,
No,
it was a
tell
supermarket.
us.
It was a
That's
supermarket. It wasn't the mall, right, Joe?
I think North Race something. Yeah, North
Yeah,
Race
no frills.
in
Yeah, no
Shadiac.
frills.
Yeah, in
So
Shadiac.
we were shopping, and I'm a friendly person. I say hi to everybody.
yep.
So she was just we were shopping and we both said hi, and then it just, as he says, flourished from there. Actually, he's right. We just start talking, having this conversation, and then we saw that there is a lack of representation of us out there. So, as he said before, there's a lot of organizations that are doing along the same lines. But for us, Malakaila brings it to the level where we will be applying to the city so that so plaques can be up. We have a program now. We're going to be applying for it to run outside of the schools on an after school basis. So we want it to be seen, like in every aspect of living in New Brunswick. So the contributions that we have done, the the writers, the authors, I should say, the representation of New Brunswick for Black people. We see it for Nova Scotia, we see it for Newfoundland, we see it for even Quebec, but it's very hard to find anything for New Brunswick. I've done the research. I've really dug into some research.
You're
The libraries, there are authors that are from New Brunswick that are not in all the libraries.
yeah, you're right. So okay, so there is questions about your stories that I want to get back to. Just
Okay.
out of curiosity, just out of pure curiosity, but let's get into the Malakaila Foundation and the passion. So you've already started to talk about it, but just let's start at the beginning. Like, what is the Malakaila Foundation, and what were your first, what were your shared visions that you had together, and how did that lead to the Malakaila Foundation, and what is the Malakaila Foundation? Either of
Okay.
you can start.
So I'll take this one, Joe. So the Malakaila Foundation is a foundation that represents people of African descent. So people of African descent is not recognized, celebrated, or seen in a positive light in New Brunswick. From when I came, I haven't seen it. Job's been here longer than me, and he hasn't seen it. Not to say we do not celebrate Black History Month, nor do we not celebrate our communities, but it's in pockets. Like you have the pockets of Nigerian, or you have the pockets of Congolese, or you have pockets of Asian. So in Jamaican pockets, and so each section is in a pocket that would normally celebrate things. Malakaila Foundation will bring everyone under the same umbrella, not as a part of the foundation, but the recognition and the celebration of everyone under that umbrella. Our past ancestors that came is not recognized anywhere in the literature, in the in the education system, in the political system. So I can't go and say, um, where did I go? I can't go and say this person is from New Brunswick and they're black and I see their picture somewhere. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it yet. I've been to a lot of Parliament building because I want my research to be on par, but I've been to a few places and I've never seen the picture or the image of a black person being shown in a light of representation. Um, I've seen us as a part of a group or showcasing a picture for a photo op, an inclusive connection, but I haven't seen us represented. And we do have professors, we have medical doctors, we have so many, and yet there's nothing out there to put that out. Our children are going to school. They don't see, outside of Black History Month, they don't see or can't even voice, some of them, the progression of black people coming to this country, what we have contributed. When you speak to people, and I'm not differentiating based on anything, but when you speak to people, including ourselves, they don't know of, okay, a black person did a contribution to this, or not because of the skin color, but there was someone that looked like you that accomplished this, so you can also accomplish this. You know what I mean? And that is our main goal. And then in the latter part of it, we want to also display to where we get to the point where we're going to be doing, this is just getting to that scholarship. So it goes from the past to the present to the future. So that is fully recognized, and it keeps the legacy going, so that we're represented in every facet of society, in the Canadian tapestry on a whole.
Amazing. That is really all encompassing. So kind of like your motto says, like your goal is to you're recognizing that people in New Brunswick don't have a sense of black accomplishment and pride and joy, and even the African, I always get this word messed up, the diaspora
Mhm.
of
Diaspora.
everything. Diaspora, yes,
Diaspora.
thank you. And you're recognizing, like, yeah, because we are all diverse and we are from so many different places around the world, but when we come here, we're all mainly just looked at as black. So you're trying to unite and unify. Looking at the background image you have there, unify black people from all over the country to join together, to achieve and accomplish, and at the same time support people by raising money to offer scholarships and other things to support young people and future generations.
Yes, you see, just to add to what Nichole said, if I may.
Yes.
You see, the foundation is not only about recognizing those who have laid a landmark, we call them pace setter or pathfinders, those who have actually attained some heights of excellence at the top there in their various field. But you find out that if you can showcase such a person to that child in grade 5, grade 6, perhaps the person tomorrow will want to take mentorship from that individual. If we go back into the history of football, you find out most of these great footballers we see today, they looked on to one other great legend that were before them. They might not necessarily be from their country, but because they attained that great height in football, they all strived and they all made it. So what the foundation is trying to do is to encourage the Black community, be it African, Jamaican, Haiti, name it, and also the other communities in New Brunswick and Canada at large to say, come on, we can be known for something good. Somebody is doing it. There are so many immigrants that are here today that have established their own personal businesses and they are employers of labor, partnering with the government, paying people's salary, workers under them. Such people can serve as a mentor to some other person. Say, you know what? I want to have my own business.
That's right.
We have doctors emeritus who are retired, accomplished in their field, surgeon, consultant, they go to the peak. And such persons can be also a good mentor to those who want to go into the medical field and say, you know what, if this person can do it, I can do it. It's all about appreciating and then, like she said, giving back to the society. We want to give back to New Brunswick, who has created the opportunity, and the entire maritime region and Canada at large at the end of the day, who has given the opportunity for these people to attain that height, who has given them that level playing field, who has given the green grass. So we want to give back as well, not just recognizing the community, but at the same time, try to give back to the society that is giving to us.
That's amazing. And of course, I think, great guests for our first guest, because it aligns a lot with the work that we try to do by having, people of I want to say of value, but I think that all Black people have value in terms of storytelling, right? Especially under the guise of that, joy, innovation, creativity, not just stories about trauma, slavery, etc.
Trauma, yeah, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's not always the same narrative. We've done a lot of amazing things, and it is worth mentioning. So I'm curious, like, our format is very obvious. You're on our format, and I know that we're going to get to the gala, but I'm curious in what ways your foundation is doing that, education piece, that engagement piece with the community. And like, are you collating a list of people that are in the community that you then want to talk about more? Is it more historical people because you've got that, past, present, future, you've got the scholarship, but I'm curious how people are learning about these notable people through your foundation.
Well, at this time, we're so new that we're still putting up information out there. That's the first part. However, some trekking I have done, we will be doing social media updates. You will see interviews with them. You will that will be on Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that. The gala will be presented with a lot of that. Sorry. The gala will be presenting a lot of that information as well. One project that we're kicking into play, hopefully it can go through, is a STEAM program. So it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. It started off me pushing it in Capilate area. And with that now, attendance was not that great. However, what we did do, what was done was that using the interest of the people and surveying them, I found that having it at the school, which is Shediac Cape, we would more get attendance for it. So when the gala pushes through, we will be using donations that come in and or stuff that comes in from that to put that through. On our board, we do have an engineer who will will be working with us, and it is now being thrown through First Robotics Canada, based on what we did before. So this way, the children will be able to see the different parts of society based through what we measure as adults: science, technology, engineering, and what we measure society to be. And it's with the participant of a Black bilingual author. So we have a lot of people working with us for this round. if it goes through for this year, we're gonna try. Then we're gonna try to see if we can put it through to the mountain schools and so forth with volunteers and things like that. So that will be one of our major ones that are already in place that we have to go with. But outside of that, we'll be doing interviews, a lot of social media push outs, and we'll be holding a lot of other events over time. We will not keep it at just Black History Month because our history is every day because we live it every day.
Yep. Black
Right?
History Year, and Black history is just Canadian history,
Exactly.
and
And
global
to add
history.
to that, like with regards to the scholarship area, we're currently written communiques to the education district in which
Right.
we are trying to collate
Mhm.
names of students who have performed outstandingly in their academics.
Right.
So it's not something that we are the one deciding, but we're going to be looking at what the education board is sending back to us, the figures and the statistics that they have to give to us. Then we base on that, because the teachers knows those students better than we do. They are there with them, 247 in school. So those are also being compiled as we speak, so that we'll begin to compile them to know how we can appreciate them and then look at for scholarship in the future going forward.
Okay, so Nichole, it sounds like you've been already working with the sort of the school systems and getting involved in students up in Cap Palais. You helped launch a STEAM program, and I'll be honest, I've only ever heard of STEM. So throwing the arts in there is an amazing. I've never heard of that. So that's really cool. And you skimmed over your time in Ontario, but I think you were also part of a Brampton. Or Toronto school board as well, and you helped implement programs, and may have been a chair or president. So you definitely have a deep background there in terms of helping and getting involved in programs and such like that. And
Yeah.
Job, that's amazing, by the way. You're working with the alternative resident.
Resident alternative,
Right.
yeah.
That's So you're
ARA,
working with
just
community.
ARA.
You already have a committed goal towards helping ARA. Yeah, and so and it sounds like how many years have you been here? I know, Nichole, I met you 2 years ago when you came here, but how long have you been here for, Joe?
Should I shock you?
I'm all ears.
Okay. July this year will be 3 years.
Okay. You're pretty
new.
You're still pretty new.
I mean,
come on. I've had lots of welcome to Canada, so I think I have a lot of it in my box already.
Absolutely. Well, my parents first arrived in New Brunswick 23 years ago. So I was waiting for you to say something about a couple decades, and I came to New Brunswick about 12, 13 years ago. But I guess I should have caught on with the Atlantic immigration program as well, because that's a fairly recent program. But so in that 3 years, it sounds to me, and this is why I asked, that you've had a chance to meet many people in the community, like in different communities and groups of people, and you've been out there. You've been putting yourself out there.
Well, before coming here, and I am still the president of the old student of my secondary school back home in Nigeria, the alumni, Victoria Island Secondary School. I'm still the president, even that I'm here in Canada. And I've been responsible for sponsoring of so many students, teachers' salaries. We and the entire board members and the alumni, both in diaspora and at home back there in Nigeria. So talking about education, giving back to the children and trying to get them mentors to look up onto, I see it as something that this generation needs, so they don't lose track. Like just this morning, I held meeting with my ESCOs, and I was telling the secretary, you guys better start preparing for the, let me say this, Mother's Day. What we do back home in Nigeria is that during the month of March, which is Mother's Day, we get the female students, and we get those of us who are accomplished in one field or the other to mentor them. You go back to the school, you pick 1 or 2 girls to mentor. So as they are growing up being groomed by somebody that passed through that same system. So we're all giving back to make sure that they all have a better future tomorrow. Same thing I see here. The children here needs to have those mentorship so that tomorrow they'll look back and say, oh, I want to be like this person. Thank God that this person came into my life.
That's amazing. So, and I guess what I was trying to get at is, I mean, we know all about being a new organization. Hillary and I are only about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary together of working together on BlackLantic. So,
very soon.
and
Congratulations.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
we know how much can be done in a year. And my main point was it sounds like you two have quite a good background regarding getting into the kind of work you're getting into with the goals that you have. It all sounds well aligned with your history.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Hillary, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to get into, sort of the almost the main reason that you're here, but this gala that will be going on, I believe, on February 25th. Tell us all about it, why people should care, if anybody can come, who can participate, who's expected to be there, and sort of the whole purpose behind why the Malakaila Foundation is doing an inaugural gala.
Let's pop up a little graphic here.
Yeah, I see it. It looks good. Good job, Quentin.
Thank you.
I didn't make the flyer. I just threw it on the screen.
Hey. Good job to whoever made the flyer.
Why, thank you.
Yes. Whoever would like to go first and explain.
Yeah.
Well, the Malakaila Foundation Gala, as I said before, we have a lot of foundations that are looking at the same aspect. However, it is they're all in their own echelon setup, right? Another difficulty was that they were having problems gaining a location to be able to have enough time to complete what they have to, or which is true, which is definitely true. The struggles of getting it done came from booking the location and timing, or having someone get back to you in a decent amount of time. But I have been, when the idea was thought of, we went hunting for a location. The act of gaining that location was so difficult. It was very sad to see. It goes from overpricing, the weed out of overpricing, to the inability to create a menu, to the inability to accommodate what the original thought was. So we had to do a lot of shifting back and forth to come back with something that would be able to be done. So it is cutting this close because of that, mainly because of that. So we are throwing the gala as the first. It's the first. So we're trying to get firsts information in, as much first as we can, as much first represented. But we're also putting the gala out there because the name will be synonymous to it every year. And we will have a collective of everybody that's involved. It doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you're of African descent. So we want everyone to feel comfortable, everyone to on a level that is not a community center, because we know we can be represented outside of a community center spotlight. We can be represented outside of having an event in a park. We can, you know what I mean? So, we are that echelon. We are up there. So why not represent us up there? So that is one of the main thing for the annual gala. The presentation is also to recognize the past, the present, and the future. so that everybody has somewhere to go at some time. So the plans that we have laid out stretches anywhere from just this program being started up to having an actual facility as big as, we would say, maybe the Dieppe Art Center, to where we can facilitate programs for our youths, programs for our moms, programs for our dads. Like, this is the level of where we're heading. So we want to make sure where we're heading is where we are addressing.
Yeah, and
Wow.
why I think everybody should be there is because we have a lineup of activities and personalities. Have Nichole tell them who can share some of them.
Can we? Do we want to?
You could drop some. You could drop some hints. You're talking about firsts. You could drop some teasers here about
we
about
getting
what
a
to
lot of
expect.
firsts, even in representation.
I think you could share a little bit of that.
Okay, we have some political bigwigs who have
Yes.
given the nods that they
And
will be in attendance to
It will
support.
shock you too, Hillary. It will shock you.
Yeah, some political bigwigs. When we say bigwigs, we mean bigwigs
Yeah.
Okay.
who have identified. And
Yeah.
also we've reached out to some CEOs, business owners who are Blacks, who founded their businesses from the scratch and are doing well and are good employers of labor, contributing and assisting government or partnering with governments in reducing the unemployment rates in the province, so, and in the maritime region at large, because some of their businesses is not just limited to New Brunswick, it spills across the border.
That's
So
right.
we've gotten across to them and they've given us the nod that they'll be in attendance. As well, there'll be loads of cultural, African, Jamaican, Haitian, Congolese dance that you wouldn't want to miss for anything. You've never seen it like before, not as presented as we're lining it up in this gala. So we're going to have so many, it's going to be a packed event, not just speeches boring, it's beyond the speeches. Yeah, and we're also going to have awards, presentation of awards, and celebrating those that want to celebrate.
There will also be some interactive elements to it. So it's going to be very, very nouveau. It will be aired. We got that confirmation. I was really shocked, but I'm loving it. But
and it's going to be entertaining.
It will be aired.
I'd like to ask where it's going to be aired so that I can watch. But like, if one of you wants to like wink twice if the bigwig is Justin Trudeau, I'll fly up. Like, I'll put my political beliefs aside and I fly just to be in the room with JT.
Just
the rest we know how I feel.
Crossed, because I think you are trying to hit the nail on the head. You're scratching the hammer with the head of the nail, something like that.
I'll book a flight now. Like,
you know what? You will be along with about 15 people that have already booked their flight. I'm telling you.
Wait, the bigger question is his wife coming? Because I have a crush on her.
Let's say he'll be here.
All right, Air Canada.
But I am just telling you, there's people flying in from Ontario as well.
And where is it being aired if not everybody has Air Canada on speed dial like me?
Well, so
Clinton's laughing like I'm kidding, and I
know. I saw the look on your face. We will be putting that out on the website, on the Facebook and the social media. When we have the whole thing ironed out, but we got the confirmation it will happen, so we will make it happen.
All right, so you're building the social media right now, right? You've got a page coming. I think you just created a page, and that's the best place to get information.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Okay, it sounds really, so that's the Malakaila Foundation.
Fonda. It wouldn't take the shun. It was too long.
Okay, Malakaila Fonda, like
Yeah,
Jane Fonda.
exactly. It
Wow, it
wouldn't take the
sounds so like kind of like the flyer implies. It sounds like it's meant to be a big, diverse event that is kind of like next level, and that's something that is definitely not seen in New Brunswick often. And um, other than maybe some fashion shows in St. John that have taken place in the past couple of years, it's sort of like I'm not going to say like a black tie event, but it's meant to be a bit classier. It's meant to be.
Yes, it will be something like a black tie event. The We want you to be comfortable, but we want you also to be showing your best. Being your best in everything you do is the best representation of yourself. So we will be doing that.
I mean, and that's something that New Brunswickers don't see
No,
too often. Like they don't
exactly.
see black class or black
No,
joy or black accomplishment or just black fanciness, to be honest. And we know that it's out there. We know it's in big cities and all over the world, but it's New Brunswick has always been really a homogenous culture with really no cultural exposure to anything, especially with black people, other than like rap music and cops on TV.
which is
So
it's quite, sorry to interrupt you, but it's quite interesting because we a lot of black people go to church a lot. So when we go to church, we
mhm,
usually dress up.
yeah,
When I when I went to try to see what was going on in regards to going to church and stuff like that, like having an event, I was invited to I was told it was a classy affair. That's what I was told.
church.
And so I dressed up with that connotation in my head. And me and my husband, we went, and it was interesting, never to say the less, because we were looked at. I think we were mainly stared at because of our outfits. To them, it was like, oh my God, like I had young people coming up to me saying, oh my God, you look so beautiful. Oh my God, I love the smell. Oh my God, like who smells you? So it, you know what I mean? Just the basic, and I don't think I was that dolled up, but it was interesting to see it. And I was kind of I one lady said to me, I never knew. I was like, you never knew what, sweetheart? It's okay. We have that, and it's sad to see. It's very sad to see. And she was quite happy with me the whole night. She wouldn't leave my side. It was it was really sad to see.
I
So I take this as a reality comparing to your reality. It's on a different level. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What I find interesting in like my day job with community health is I think that people have this misconception that everything for Black people has to be like low, like easy access, low barrier, under the assumption of like mass poverty.
Yeah.
And they forget that like it's not. I would believe that this is a generalization in New Brunswick, and maybe I'm wrong and I'll have to eat my words, but like not everything is supposed to be a backyard barbecue symbolizing like reminiscent of a Southern cookout. Like we can do fancy, and I do really appreciate that you're pushing for
Yeah.
that, because you don't see Black people dressed up enough because of the fact that it's almost as if people don't believe that we can, because we can't afford it, because we're supposed to be poor and no good and still acting like it's slave days. And I'm
Right.
excited that everyone's going to get dolled up in front of whichever fancy people are going to be there that I will apparently be flying in for. I'm going to be bringing my dresses. I'm going to pack them now. I'll drop them off when I go this weekend, and then I'll pick them up after Clinton. They'll just be in the closet.
I'm telling you, it is
No doubt.
crazy because, and you're right, Hillary. It over here, I find, I tell my family that are not living with me. I tell them the mentality mainly is based on the commercial of what's that commercial called, where they're mixing they have the black kid with the big stomach and feed the children, heed the world kind of.
Oh,
That's the
World
mentality.
vision, that stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because
100%. Yep.
yeah, because in the job that I was talking to you about, the lady, one lady there who was of high influence, her comment was, the people in the poor countries, right? I put up quotes, were so grateful to see the Canadian blue money. Blue exactly. The $5 bill. They were so grateful for a blue money, and they treat her so well for the blue money. I said,
Whoa.
exactly. So I said, and I seriously said, my my upbringing has taught me to respect everybody. And I do. I really do. And I love everybody. But when your mind is wrapped around the fact that a group of people, because of where they are from, or because of the color of their skin, or because of anything like that, when your mind, and you are a grown woman, wrapped around that fact, I cannot help you. I cannot change your mind. I can only enlighten you to the fact that television is available anywhere you go in life. So, outside of watching these feed the world hunger children, and outside of your narrow thinking, you should definitely take a look at um, the places around you, right? You can go on Google somewhere, Google Bermuda, just Google, and you'll see houses for sale everywhere you go. Uplift your horizon. And when a person is not able or choose not to do so, my thing is, there's nothing you can do. You can only show them what you have, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, New Brunswick's had high-speed internet for a good 20 years now.
I mean,
So
come on.
Yeah.
But and I mean, to that point, and I was talking about this on Instagram yesterday. We've talked on the podcast not that long ago about everybody forgetting that Nigeria is an English speaking country and having to have them do English placement tests to be in university. So like the blissful ignorance that every Black person is poor and that Africa is just a dying continent is very heavy amongst the whites. They very much believe that. So
Oh,
I'm very excited that this gala is first-handedly going to be dismantling that idea through high heels and glitter and dresses and tuxes and stuff.
and to the detriment, that's all where people.
Yes.
That's all they've ever been shown. They
Yeah.
see those videos. They see those commercials about starving children, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of them in Canada and the U.S. as well. But that's all they know, and that's the perception that they get about. That's exactly what all of Africa is like, and it's good to try to break down those barriers.
Mm-hmm.
You were
And
going
that's
to
why.
say something, Job? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Job. Go ahead.
I thought Job was going to say something, but go ahead, Nichole.
No. I said that's the truth. That's the bitter truth.
Okay, go ahead, Nichole.
Yeah, and that's why also I'm going. There's some interaction aspects of it, so that I may not be able to debunk your thought process, but I can give you something to go Google, something to think about, something to say, even if you're saying it in a negative light, something to give out there, whether it is good, bad, or indifferent. At least your mind now has something else, and this thing was given to you positively and properly for you to take and do as you choose.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap up in a few minutes. And of course, this is a super interesting conversation. I think we could talk about these issues. We really very much so agree with you both on for hours. But if people who are watching to the end, and we always give a shout out to everyone that does that, want to get more information, can they call the number on the flyer or the email address or message on Facebook? Okay, I'm going to put that information up here for anyone watching as well. And Hillary, like what
they'll
other...
get a response ASAP.
Okay, so you're a growing organization. You have people working behind the scenes,
Yeah.
engineer, artists. You've been in the schools. You're helping people in the community. You're hosting. You're putting together something New Brunswick has ever seen, um, which is like like Black Excellence,
Exactly.
Black
Yes.
Excellence Gala,
For a
and
lack of a better word. But
I mean,
but
that is really unique. There's been lots
Mhm.
of events put on over decades, but there's been a lot of firsts in New Brunswick the past 5 years, and this is definitely one
Mhm.
of them.
Mhm.
Hillary, do you have more questions? And if not, like Nichole and Job, like, do you want to add anything else that we may have missed that you think is important?
Yeah.
Hillary, do you have any
Before-
questions on the tip
No,
of your?
I'll let them go ahead. I'm literally looking up flights.
Sorry, the phone number is 647, not 506.
Oh, thank you for that.
So for everyone, please feel free. You have any questions? You want to attend the gala? You want to know how you can contribute? We need engineers because we would like to compete in the next robotic competition. We need volunteers. We would also like. We just need you, professional. Even if you're a mom cooking at home, and all you can do is show up for 10 minutes and read a book to a child, we need all of that because it all will be used in the organization.
Job,
That's amazing.
any final thoughts or words?
Yeah, I'll just want to encourage every listener and viewer to try book a tickets, try make plans, keep February 25th open in their calendars, in their diaries, and try to attend the event so they won't miss out. It's going to be a groundbreaking gala night. Thank you.
That sounds great. Yeah, definitely. If you haven't already, try to connect with some communities in St. John, Halifax, Amherst. You mentioned at the beginning of this all the different pockets, Nichole, and they're really all over the Maritimes.
Yeah.
The Black Historical Society of Prince Edward Island. There's
Yep.
tons of organizations. Okay, so you got your
Yeah.
list. You're building your list. If you want to reach
Yeah.
out to us for resources or want us to share or post any information, even if I don't
You
know if it's
can
a
help
ticketed.
us share and post as well, even as we try to reach out to them as well.
Tag
Yes.
BlackLantic in anything you want, or you can send us private messages asking us. We do that for other organizations. They ask us to share
Okay,
posts or
thank you very much. We appreciate it.
send things among our networks. And if I don't know if it's a ticketed event, but if there's a link, even if it's Eventbrite where you want us to share those links, let us know.
No,
We can help you
we
get
haven't
your word out
processed a
there.
ticketed process. It's through you calling, and then the way we are doing it is we'll send you the information because you will be videotaped, and I don't want you just to buy the ticket. You have to have the information and in agreement with it. So because there's video going on, you will be constantly on social media and all that stuff. We have to get the permission and the acceptance of everyone. So that's why you get a phone call, you get the information given to you that you will be taped and so forth. If you do agree to that, then you go ahead, you purchase a placement. And upon doing so, when you get to the door, all you have to, then you will be getting a number before the event itself.
Okay.
And this way now, you, upon going to the door, all you give them is that number and you're good to go.
And
All
for
right.
anyone who's listening and didn't see any of the pop-ups, what is the full phone number starting with 647, just in case someone is audio listening?
Right.
Thank
So
you.
for those listening, you can call 647-975-7557, or you can email malakaila1@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, which is Malakaila, Malakaila Founda, which is Founda.
And if anybody listening missed that and you know how to spell BlackLantic, we'll connect you. We'll get you where you need to be.
All right.
No doubt. Well, thank you for joining us. so much.
you very
Thank you
much.
to our listeners, to anyone listening to this. If you're listening on your favorite streaming platform, please make sure to give us a follow, a like, a rating, a comment. That really helps bump us up. Follow us on any socials that we're on. We post different content at different times on different social media networks. And I'm Clinton Davis with an underscore at the end. And this is
Hillary. I just want to, can I spoil the fact that next week we'll be together in person next week. So this episode, amazing. Tune in next week where I get to hug my business partner. And I'm Crapberry. And this was a wonderful episode. Thanks for being our first guests. First guest in 2023. Thank you so much.
And zero technical difficulties.
You have no idea what we were going through.
It's new company, new things, new ventures. There's always going to be complications and setbacks, but we work through it. All right, we're going to play that outro, and then we out.
All right.